The observation deck of the Imperial Dreadnought hung silent as Empress. Bella pressed her silver palm against the reinforced glass. Below, the human colony world of Terran 4 burned. Orange flames licked at processing facilities, while her fleet maintained orbital superiority. 3 months of siege, and still the humans refused surrender. They should have capitulated weeks ago, Admiral Torn muttered beside her. His mandibles clicked in frustration. Their supply lines are severed. Their reinforcements cannot reach them. Logic demands they yield. Vela said nothing. She had studied humanity extensively since first contact 7 years prior. Logic, she had learned, was not their primary operating principle. A tactical officer approached, bowing low. Majesty, the humans request parley. They wish to send a single representative aboard our vessel. Torn's eyes widened. A trap, surely. They mean to smuggle explosives or biological weapons. Scan them thoroughly, Vela commanded. If they come unarmed and alone, I will hear what they have to say. The human arrived an hour later. Vela watched through security feeds as the transport pod docked and the scanning process began. The figure that emerged wore no military uniform, just simple civilian clothing. Male, approximately 27 standard years by human reckoning. Brown hair, unremarkable features. He carried nothing but a data slate. He is clean, security reported. No weapons, no augmentations, no chemical traces. Bring him to the conference chamber, Vela ordered. The human walked with neither fear nor bravado as guards escorted him through corridors designed to intimidate lesser species. The vaulted ceilings stretched 5 times his height. Holographic displays showed the might of the Valkyrie Empire spanning 300 star systems. He glanced at them with mild interest, but no apparent concern. Vela waited in the conference chamber, seated at the head of a long obsidian table. Torn stood at her right, along with 4 other senior commanders. The human entered, nodded politely, and took the seat indicated at the opposite end. I am Jack Ross, he said simply. I represent the colonial administration of Terran 4. You are not military, Vela observed. No, I was a civil engineer before the war. I helped design water reclamation systems. He placed his data slate on the table, but did not activate it. I am here to discuss terms. Torn leaned forward. You are in no position to negotiate. Surrender unconditionally or be destroyed. Jack looked at the Admiral, then back to Vela. With respect, Empress, that is not going to happen. Your courage is admirable but pointless, Vela replied. We have studied your military capabilities. Your ships are slower, your weapons less sophisticated. You cannot win this engagement. You are correct, Jack agreed. We cannot win this battle. But you cannot win the war. Silence fell across the chamber. Torn began to speak, but Vela raised a hand, silencing him. She studied the human carefully. His heart rate remained steady. His body language showed no deception markers. Explain, she commanded. Jack activated his data slate. A holographic projection appeared above the table, showing star charts. Your empire spans 300 systems. Impressive. Humanity controls 47. You outnumber us significantly in ships, soldiers, and industrial capacity. Then you understand the futility of resistance, Torn interjected. I understand mathematics, Jack replied calmly. But I also understand human history. He gestured, and the display changed. Images appeared of burning cities, devastated landscapes, centuries of human conflicts. We have been fighting each other for our entire existence. Wars that lasted decades. Wars that consumed entire continents. Wars where we developed weapons capable of rendering our own world uninhabitable. Vela leaned forward slightly. This was not the plea for mercy she had anticipated. We are not good at war because we are particularly violent, Jack continued. We are good at war because we refuse to accept defeat. Your empire conquers efficiently. You calculate acceptable losses, optimize resource allocation, and withdraw when victory becomes too costly. That is rational. He stood, walking slowly along the length of the table. The guards tensed, but Vila gestured for them to hold position. Humans do not operate that way, Jack said quietly. When you attacked our colony at New Perth, we lost. When you destroyed our defensive fleet at Epsilon Station, we lost. You have won every major engagement. But here is what your analysts have not calculated. The display shifted again, showing production figures, population movements, resource allocations. Every loss makes us angrier. Every defeat makes us more determined. You think 3 months of siege will break us. Our ancestors held cities under siege for years. You think orbital bombardment will force capitulation. We once dropped nuclear weapons on our own species and kept fighting. Torn stood abruptly. This is absurd. You threaten us with your own stubbornness? Jack turned to face him. I am not threatening you, Admiral. I am warning you. If you continue this war, you will win every battle and lose everything that matters. We will tie up your fleets in endless occupations. We will make every conquered world cost you more to hold than it produces. We will fight with ships and soldiers until those are gone. Then we will fight with whatever remains. He looked back at Vila. Your empire is built on rational calculation. You conquer species that surrender when the math says they should. But humanity will never surrender. We will drag this war on for generations. We will make it so expensive, so exhausting, so endless that your own people will question why you are fighting us at all. You would sacrifice millions of your own people, Vila said softly. Condemn countless humans to death rather than accept reasonable terms of occupation. Yes, Jack replied without hesitation. Because those reasonable terms would last until you decided they were no longer convenient. We have seen how your empire treats conquered species. Second-class status at best. Forced labor at worst. You offer survival, not freedom. And humans value freedom more than survival. He returned to his seat. So here are my terms. You withdraw your forces from all human worlds. You recognize our sovereignty and commit to non-aggression. In return, we will do the same. We will not expand into territory you claim. We will not interfere with your empire. We will trade, exchange knowledge, and maintain peaceful relations. And if we refuse? Torn demanded. Then we will make you regret it for the next 100 years, Jack said simply. You will spend more resources occupying our worlds than you would fighting 10 conventional wars. Your enemies will see you trapped in endless conflict with a minor species and recognize weakness. Your own citizens will grow weary of a war that produces nothing but costs. Eventually, you will withdraw anyway, but only after wasting decades and countless lives on both sides. Valia studied the human for a long moment. His certainty was unshakable. This was not bravado or desperate bluffing. He truly believed every word, and more importantly, he was probably right. She had reviewed the historical records of humanity's conflicts. Wars that should have ended in months stretched into years. Occupations that should have been stable descended into eternal insurgency. Even when utterly defeated, humans found ways to make victory hollow for their conquerors. You are asking us to accept the peace treaty as though we were equals, she said, when clearly we are not. Militarily, no, Jack agreed. But strategically, yes. You cannot afford to fight us, and we cannot be conquered. That makes us equal where it matters. Torn began to protest, but Vila raised her hand again. The Admiral fell silent, though his mandibles clicked with agitation. I will need to consult with my council, Vila said finally. You will remain aboard this ship as our guest until a decision is reached. Jack nodded. I understand. Guards escorted him from the chamber. Once the door sealed, Torn turned to Vela immediately. Majesty, you cannot seriously be considering this. One human, no weapons, no leverage, makes demands as though commanding a fleet. It is an insult to the Empire. It is a warning, Vela corrected. And an accurate one. She gestured to her analysts. Show me the projections for long-term occupation of human territory. The data appeared, and even Torn fell silent as the numbers became clear. Garrison requirements, resource drain, projected insurgency activity, impact on Imperial expansion elsewhere. Every model showed the same conclusion. Fighting humanity would be ruinously expensive, even in victory. 3 days later, Vela returned to the conference chamber. Jack waited patiently, looking neither anxious nor triumphant. She took her seat across from him. The Velkari Empire agrees to your terms, she said formally. We will withdraw from human territory and recognize your sovereignty. In return, you will commit to the non-aggression and trade agreements outlined. Jack stood and bowed slightly. On behalf of humanity, I accept. Peace between our peoples, Empress. One question, Vela said as he prepared to leave. If we had refused, would you truly have fought until the end? Sacrificed your entire species rather than surrender? Jack met her eyes. Every single one of us, Empress. That is what makes us human. As his transport departed back toward Terran 4, Vela watched from the observation deck. Torn approached, still radiating disapproval. History will question this decision, he muttered. History will remember we were wise enough to recognize when force was insufficient, Vela replied. We have conquered hundreds of species. But today we learned there